So the other day I got asked to perform an experiment by one of my viewers. He had an issue with his old GoPro overheating while filming himself busking outdoors. And as a result he sold his GoPro. Yeah, he still likes the wide angle of the GoPro and he's hoping to use one to film his busking, but he wanted to know it was possible to film in 4K 30 frames per second outdoors with his camera on a tripod without it overheating. So I decided to take him up on that challenge, and what I discovered really surprised me, and I think you're going to want to stick around for this one because it's a bit of a game changer. This was supposed to be a DemonView challenge video, but instead this is kind of a GoPro apology video. Stay tuned. Hi there, welcome back to the channel. I appreciate you watching, and hopefully you're learning some interesting stuff when you visit here. And today, I assure you, this is something you're going to want to know about. Now, if you don't mind, do me a favor, click the like and subscribe buttons on this video. It helps promote the channel, it helps fund these videos, and best of all, it doesn't cost you a thing and only takes a second or two to do so. Now, as I'm sure many of you know, the very worst tests reviewers absolutely hate doing are battery tests and overheating tests. They take up so much time and, you know, they're just a pain to do. However, I'm never one to shy away from a challenge. After all, I've done extensive battery and overheating tests on both the Hero 10 and the Hero 11. However, this time, my test would be a little bit different. I'd be trying to see how long I could get the Hero 10 and Hero 11 to record in 4K 30 frames per second without overheating. So the very first thing I did was to remove the battery door and attach the GoPro USB-C Passthru door. Then I removed the internal battery and I'd be using an external power supply to power the camera, and in theory this should help immensely to prevent overheating. The cameras themselves, I decided to set them both up as identically as possible. So I put them both into extended battery mode, I then set both of them to 4K 30 frames per second and I disabled Hypersmooth. After all, both cameras were mounted on a tripod stand, they were static, so there's no need for stabilization. I also turned off GPS as again, the cameras are mounted, they're static, there's no need to record the GPS data. The camera screens were set to 10% brightness and to turn off after 1 minute. After all, if this viewer is going to be recording himself busking, he's not going to be looking at the front or rear screens of the camera. Bitrate I set to low as there wasn't going to be a lot of fast moving drone video or something that really required a high bitrate. I also set the color profile to flat so that GoPro wasn't having to carry out real-time color grading correction while recording. In fact, the only thing I left turned on, so to speak, was the LED light so I could tell if the camera was still recording. Now, once all of that was done, I started the recording and decided to play the waiting game. Luckily, based on previous testing, I knew I wouldn't have to wait long. The GoPro Hero 11 should overheat in about 27 minutes in 4K 30 frames per second. The Hero 10, on the other hand, I had that last for over an hour 33 before running out of battery in the past. So I was expecting that maybe it would last a max of 2 hours. I mean, the testing facility was a steady 60 degrees Fahrenheit, there was no circulating air so to speak, there was no fans blowing on the camera or anything like that, so I was expecting some overheating to happen pretty quickly. However, what happened next surprised me. You see, about 47 minutes later I happened to glance over at the cameras and I noticed the GoPro Hero 10 was no longer recording. And that was really surprising considering I had it set up for tripod mode. I mean, I wouldn't have expected it to overheat at all. With the tripod mode activated, GPS and gyro data should be disabled, the camera should be running quite cool. So the fact that it had stopped surprised the heck out of me. I figured that since I'd been recording a number of time lapses the other day that maybe the SD card became corrupt during a power loss or something. Either way, this required further investigation. The Hero 11 on the other hand was happily chugging away. I mean, over an hour and a half later, the Hero 11 was still going. I mean, what? That's not supposed to happen. I mean, come on GoPro, I don't want to be stuck here doing extended overheating tests. Your camera is supposed to record, overheat in 10 minutes, then shut down, and then lots of people are supposed to go and complain about it online. It's not supposed to still be recording an hour and 30 minutes later. Get with the program, GoPro. I've already tested this camera before in 4K 30 frames per second. It lasted 27 minutes before overheating and shutting down. So, why was it continuing to record now? I mean, did GoPro adjust something in the November 8th firmware update that helped reduce overheating? I mean, what did you do to me camera, GoPro? It's not supposed to work. So, I checked the Hero 11 camera again at the 1 hour 46 minute mark. And it was still recording. I mean, this is not what I was expecting. From what I read on the web and saw on YouTube, I was fully expecting to have to stand the GoPro Hero 11 in a bucket of ice with several fans pointing at it, discharging a CO2 fire extinguisher in the camera's direction every 5 to 10 minutes just to keep it recording. What was going on? I love slow motion. Slow motion looks great. Recently I found out you can disable the GoPro Hero 11 noise reduction to improve low light filming when having the option to reduce noise in post-processing with a video editor of your choice. So I was really looking forward to trying this out by shooting my barbecue, lighting up at night and getting that whole nice slow motion night ignition effect using the custom settings via the GoPro Labs firmware. Only thing is I couldn't do that. You know why? Because it had been 2 hours 16 minutes and the GoPro Hero 11 was still recording. Still! This isn't normal, people. This isn't normal at all. I think my camera's possessed. It's the only way I can explain it. 2 hours, 35 minutes, and the camera is still happily recording. Now, I have to admit this far exceeded my expectations. I mean, remember the camera had previously overheated at the 27-minute mark using what I thought were the best custom settings to have the camera record as long as possible. Well, it turns out I owe GoPro a heck of an apology. Of course, I can't think of a better apology than having a video showing the GoPro Hero 11 record in 4K for over 2.5 hours. Now, I'm wondering if the camera can make it to the 3-hour mark. If it does, I think people will need to rethink the GoPro Hero 11 and its performance. I mean, I already found out that using the GoPro Hero 11 in webcam mode meant that it would just keep on recording. However, webcam mode is only 1080p at 60 frames per second? However, having the camera record in 4K 30 frames per second indoors mounted on a tripod for over 2.5 hours, that's insane. Okay, I'm pulling my hair out here, this is frustrating. I've just checked me friend's Busker channel, you know, and I've checked it out. You can check it out yourself. Super Mario Busker, look it up, and a quick check shows you the longest video he had uploaded, you know, was about 1 hour 20 minutes. So I'm thinking that the GoPro recording for 2 hours 35 minutes is going to suit him right down to the ground. So to speak, I personally think his camera will be stolen before it overheats, but to heck with this because I was going to bed. Okay, the next day, guess what? The GoPro had finally stopped recording. Yes, at last. I mean, I was so excited about that. Finally it overheated and shut down. Only that's not what happened. I didn't actually delete any files off the SD card before I started recording, so it actually shut down because the SD card was full. After 8 hours, 35 minutes of recording in 4K, 30 frames per second. What the heck? Okay, I hated myself for this, but I had to run another test to make sure the first one wasn't a fluke, and that turned out to be even more interesting. You see, this time around I switched the cables on the cameras. In my first test I'd been using the original GoPro Hero cable on the Hero 11 and a knockoff cable on the Hero 10. Now, I figured I would try to exclude any possibility of the cable playing a part in the camera overheating and shutting down, so if I swapped the cable and the Hero 10 kept recording and the Hero 11 shut down, then the cable was the factor. Well, hey, guess what happened? The Hero 11 shut down without warning after 8 minutes and 47 seconds, and the Hero 10, it recorded for 9 hours 31 minutes in 4K 30 frames per second before I turned it off, because frankly I needed my camera back. A busy day planned, and that was 2 days ago. Oh man, this is worse than a time travel movie. So, in an epic, unexpected conclusion to this overheating test, what can I finally conclude from my conclusion at the conclusion of this test? Well, if you put the Hero 10 in tripod mode and the Hero 11 in extended battery mode, turn off those rear screens, turn off Hypersmooth and GPS, and then record in 4K 30 frames per second, your camera is just going to keep going and going and going and going. Whether it will keep going if exposed to hot summer sunshine without overheating, well, I'm in the Pacific Northwest, I can't say for sure until summer rolls around. But for those recording indoors, yep, use the original cable with your GoPro and not a third-party cable, and things might just work out very well for you. If you're planning on recording outdoors in bright sunshine, then I have the perfect accessories that you may want to purchase to keep your GoPro nice and cool, and I'll put that at the end of this video. In the meantime, GoPro, I'm sorry. I'm very, very sorry that I doubted your camera would overheat and that my earlier tests were the final definitive word on the matter, because it turns out that I was wrong. So very, very wrong. I apologize. But in all fairness, I think dedicating over 18 hours of testing and apologizing and sharing all that info should make up for that. However, I do have one very, very important question for GoPro. You see, I misplaced my USB-C cable that came with the USB-C Passthru door, and if those of you who haven't seen the video, I'll link it down below, but that is a very nice cable. It's nice and long and it's fantastic. Now, I already have 3 of those USB USB-C Passthru doors, and only 3 cameras that can use them, and only 1 extra long USB-C cable. So GoPro, when are you going to start selling those on GoPro.com without having to buy the USB-C Passthru door? Please, please sell your original longer USB-C cable on your website, because apparently it works fantastically and some of us want the options to actually buy them. So this has been a really long DemonView challenge video and apology video, and I really do hope that you found it useful. If you did, and after all, it seems everyone wants to record hours on end in 4K 30 frames per second, and this video here shows that it is possible, then click on those like and subscribe buttons. And after this video, I need to buy some soda. Lots of soda. You know, the ones that come in small glasses. And your liking and subscribing really does help out this channel without costing you a thing. I mean, talk about value for money. So if you like what you've seen, please click the like and subscribe buttons. Until next time, thanks for watching, and I'm looking forward to making your next video. Stick around after the credits and see the ultimate GoPro cooling accessory. Thank you very much. Do you have problems with your GoPro overheating? Are you fed up with constant high temperature shutting down your GoPro while recording? Well, here at DemonView Solutions, we have come up with the ultimate sun protection for your GoPro. Presenting to you the DemonView Sunblock 9000. To use this device, simply attach the blue restraining strap to your GoPro camera, like so, simple and easy. Then attach the patented DemonView Sunblock 9000. As you can see, this fully stops sun from shining on your camera, thus causing overheating, and comes in a variety of amazing, pleasing colors. The DemonView Sunblock 9000. Not shipping anytime soon.